It's the month of Christmas, and I don't know about you, but I love having multiple Christmas parties, whether it's with family or friends. And if you're looking for a good Christmas tree, I have the perfect one for you. I've made this multiple times with my friends, and they've come out absolutely amazing every single time. Most of the ingredients you may have or you'll be able to find at your local grocery store. Now I'm going to tell you what you need to make these pinwheel cookies. You need 2/3 cup of unsalted butter and soften it, 2/3 cup of sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and red and green food coloring. Now that you know all the ingredients you'll need for these, I'm going to show you how to make them. So first you need 2/3 cup of butter. I'm just cutting to 1/3 of butter. Now I'm going to put the butter into a separate bowl. Now to soften the butter, I want to put it in the microwave for 5 seconds and then check it. It took me about 10 seconds to soften the butter. So now I'm going to put it into the mixer. Now I'm going to add 2/3 cup of sugar into the mixer. I'm just using 2 1/3 cups. Now that it's in the mixer, you're supposed to use a paddle attachment, but we don't have one. So we're just gonna use a regular one. And we're gonna beat it until creamy, so for like 3 to 4 minutes on medium speed. Ah! Now that the mixture is creamy, I'm gonna add 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So now that you just use the egg, you're going to want to wash your hands again because you don't want to get salmonella or whatever it's called. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, but I'm going to do it over a bowl so I don't add too much into there. Okay. Now we're going to beat well and, as needed, use a rubber scraper to scrape the sides. In a medium bowl, add your flour, salt, and baking soda and whisk to combine. So for flour, you need 1 3/4 cup. And I'm going to show you the right way to add flour. You want to put it in by spoonfuls so you do not get air bubbles. Okay, and then once it's like this, you're going to take a knife to level it. And I'm going to do it over the sink. And now you want to repeat that process with 3/4 cup. So now I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Oh, I didn't get any. That's good. And now I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's okay if it's not exact. And now you want to whisk to combine. To mix your on low speed, you want to slowly combine your powder mixture with the stuff in the mixer. Okay, so now you're going to want to add some flour to the table because we're going to take the dough out and put it on the table. Now I'm going to use a rubber scraper to get all of the dough out onto the table. It's okay if it comes out in pieces. Make sure you add some flour to your hands because you don't want the dough sticking all over, and you have to put it into a ball. And make sure not to mix it too much in the mixer because you don't want to over mix it either. And don't add too much flour to the counter because you don't want to dry the dough out either. Now you're going to want to divide it into 3 equal-ish parts. Now add one of your dough back into the mixer and add your red food coloring. This is going to take like a lot of testing and a lot of food dye for the red. And it might dye your hands, so just, oh, be careful. And don't do that. Once your color is evenly through your dough, take it out and put it into a ball and then set it aside. Once you set it aside, you want to clean out your mixer and your spatula for the next color. And now with your next piece of dough, put it in and then repeat the same process, but with green. Make sure that with your third piece of dough, you do not add any food coloring to it. But once you've added food coloring to the other 2, you're going to want to wrap all 3 separately in saran wrap. Once you've wrapped all 3 in saran wrap, you're going to want to refrigerate for 1 hour. Once they're done in the refrigerator, you're going to want to take them out and then separately roll them in between 2 pieces of parchment paper until it's like a 7-inch square, but it doesn't have to be exact. When you move on to the next one, you want to set these aside but still between the 2 pieces of parchment paper. You're just going to want to repeat that process for the next 2. So for measuring them, I'm not going to make them exactly 7 inches, so I'm going to eyeball. And to get them close to about the same size, I'm just going to like stack them and see. If they're close enough, they're close enough. But if they're too small, then I'll fix it. And these ones are close enough. Once you have them all flattened out, you want to put them in the fridge for 15 minutes. So now what you're going to do is you're going to stack them all and leave and you're going to stack them in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. First red and then green, and I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to flip it onto it. And if they're not like even or anything like that, that's fine. Oops, that's not fine. But you know what, it's okay. See, look at that. And then you're gonna wanna do white next. Then I'm just gonna leave that one, this piece of parchment paper on top. And then you're gonna wanna roll it into a 12 by 8 rectangle, but it doesn't have to be exact. And then you're gonna wanna remove the top piece of parchment paper. And then from the long way, you're gonna wanna roll it into a log. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Mine's kind of thick in the middle and very not thick on the other sides. That's okay. And now you're just gonna wanna wrap it in the parchment paper and then freeze it for 1 hour. While your things are in the freezer, you want to get a pan. You put parchment paper on it. I kind of did a little too much, but I can always trim it. And then you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350. And I already did that. Now you're going to take a knife and cut it like 1/3 inch thick, but I'm just going to cut it. And then you're going to set it onto your parchment paper and do about 1 inch apart. This is what they look like, and now I'm gonna put them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna do 9 because that's in the middle. Now that they're done, before you put them on a cooling rack, you have to let them cool for 1 minute. And here's how they look. Now that you know how to make one of the best Christmas trees, I hope that you'll make them for your Christmas get-togethers, and I promise it's worth the time. And while you're waiting for them, you can even go make gingerbread houses or drink hot chocolate and watch a movie with your friends while waiting for the best Christmas treat ever.